the Duchess's best in-slot weapons in Elden Ring nightreign. Let's talk about them. First things first, Duchess has a proficiency in daggers, but she also has an A scaling in intelligence, meaning she can also use sorceries. So let's divide these two. First, let's talk about the daggers and then the sorceries. And first, I want to talk about 3 daggers specifically, that being the Great Knife, the Wakizashi, and the Bloodstained Dagger, all of which roll with the bleed ailment, as well as the Reduvia, but that's a given. This thing inherently is one of the best bleed weapons within Elden Ring history, which having a bleed ailment dagger on Duchess is incredibly powerful, because for those who don't know, Duchess actually has a faster attack with the dagger, as well as also gets in more hits than your other characters, meaning you're going to be stacking up hemorrhage a lot faster with Duchess using a dagger than, say, Iron Eye using a dagger. Not only that, but these 3 weapons can randomly roll while you're in an expedition, and you could get them with a secondary ailment, whether that be frost or poison, even scarlet rot if you're lucky. So at that point, you're using these weapons and having a dual typing. Speaking of which, another fantastic dagger to use is her starter Duchess dagger, because you can put the bleed ailment on it, as well as giving it a secondary ability like chilling mist. That way you can get a dual typing ailment. Another dagger for her that's incredibly good is the Scorpion Stinger. Being able to inherently inflict scarlet rot is huge, especially with the fact that almost every single boss is affected by scarlet rot, unlike how bleed, there are a few bosses that aren't. Her last 2 daggers that I recommend getting if you see them being the Blade of Calling and the Black Knife, especially the Black Knife having that ability Blade of Death, being able to take a huge chunk out of the boss's total health pool. Another thing you can do with her and her daggers is actually use one of the Sorcery Scholar's Armament, which gives you a pretty sizable jump in damage. Before we get back to the guide, if you guys do enjoy this type of content, be sure to leave me a follow so you never miss out on another video I ever upload ever again. And with that, that's the end of my shameless plug. Okay, back to the guide. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about what kind of sorceries you want to be looking out for. Now, sorceries are random. You're not always going to get the same one every single time, hence the roguelike aspect. But while you're running around picking up wands and scepters, these are some of the best sorceries in my opinion for Duchess. And that's stuff like Comet Azure, Magma Shot, Meteorite of Estelle, Stars of Ruin, as well as Rancor Call. All fantastic sorceries to add to your arsenal if you're wanting to play Duchess more of a magic swordsman. But the way that I choose to use Duchess, which I'm going to have a build video on very, very soon, is I use Frostbite and Bleed buildup on her standard dagger and do a lot of burst damage using her restage, which also uses one of her relic skills, which allows restage to proc at the end of a dagger chain. It's a whole lot of burst damage, but I'll go into that in a later video. And with that, that has been your short guide to some of the best weapons to use with Duchess in Elden Ring nightreign. If there's any other guides you guys would like to see, please do leave them in the comment section below. I'm always reading them. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.